Morning, morning. Are you ready for some more chair yoga?
Welcome, welcome.
So today we're going to work on our lower bodies, our feet and our legs specifically. And what we will need for this practice is, I've got a yoga strap, but you don't need anything fancy. You can use a tie or a belt, dressing gown belt, just something that can help us when we come to stretch our legs out, just as we do when we're lying down on our backs during a regular yoga practice. We're going to use it today in our chair practice. So again, we need a sturdy chair, one that's not on wheels or casters, so it's not going to move underneath us. And you might want to prop yourself slightly forwards and up by putting a cushion or a couple of cushions or a rolled up blanket behind you. And especially if your back muscles are a little bit weak, over time they'll strengthen and you won't need to have that additional support. But maybe just at the beginning, if this is the first time you're doing it, you want to be able to sit up nice and tall. And just making sure that you're sitting towards the front of your chair. So the back of my chair is kind of just resting on the middle of my thighs there. It's not pressing on the backs of my knees. So I've got lots of movement in my feet and my legs, which is what we're going to work on today. Beautiful. So I haven't got any socks on, and if you have got them on, you might want to take them off so you can actually see the parts of the body that are moving today, so you can actually see your toes, free them from those wintry socks. So we're going to start with our toes. So knees stacked on top of ankles. You might need to have a little lean forward so you can see your toes. Hello, toes. We're going to lift the toes up and fan them out, almost like you would do with your fingers. So there's lots of space between each toe. And you might notice my right toes move kind of further apart than my left toes. I don't know what's going on with that there. And then we're going to bring the little toes, just the little toes, down towards the mat. And then can you, almost like you're playing the piano scales, can you bring the toes down one by one until your big toe touches down? It's really hard to do. Let's do that again. So let's bring the toes up, spread them out nice and wide. So we're getting a lovely stretch out through the ball of the foot. And then again, little toes coming down first. Ooh. And then see if you can slowly, slowly ripple the toes down. Again, my right foot is far better behaved than my left foot. And when you bring your toes down this time, can you keep the toes as wide apart as you comfortably can? Some of you might even be able to see the colour of your mat between the toes. Lovely. And then we're just going to sit ourselves back upright, nice and tall, maybe closing the eyes just for a moment. And bring your awareness to your foundations, to your feet. So we're going to press down very gently into all four corners of our feet. So the big toe edge, the little toe edge, and the inner and outer edge of the heel. And sometimes it's a good indicator, if you look at the soles of your shoes, you'll see where they're more worn down, maybe the inside or the outside, or inside or outside of the heel or the front of the foot. And that kind of gives you some feedback as to how you're walking, where the pressure is. And if we're rolling to the outside of the foot or to the inside of the foot, it's going to be putting different pressure on our knees and our hips. So it's really good training to just consider the weight distribution into all 4 points of the feet. So that too will help our knees and our hips. Lovely. So if you've got your eyes closed, I'm just going to blink the eyes open. You can keep your hands on your thighs, or you can hold on to the chair if you need a little bit more support this morning. So again, trying to keep the gaze forwards rather than down towards your feet now, so the spine stays in nice alignment. Just going to peel up the right heel. So you're pressing down quite firmly into the ball of the foot. So again, we're getting a nice stretch out through the feet. And then roll your foot all the way back down. And so you're stretching the heel away from the toes. And then the other foot. So you're going to lift up onto the ball of the foot, a little pressing down, go slowly so you don't get any cramp. And then stretch that heel back, trying to elongate the foot. We'll do that again. So lifting up the heel and then lower the heel down with a little bit of resistance. So you're kind of pushing on a pedal. And then other one. And stretch the heel back. Lovely. Let's start to speed it up. So inhale and exhale as you drop the heel. Inhale and exhale. So just continue now. Just a little kind of marching feet. Lovely. And then you can stick with this, inhaling as you lift the heel, exhaling as you lower. Or if you want to add a little bit more cardio, you start to go a bit faster. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, one heel lifts. Exhale, other heel lifts. So it's a little bit of marching. And as you continue to do that, our calf acts as a cardiovascular pump. So if you're someone that finds kind of walking or running a little bit tricky, this is having that same kind of action on helping our circulation. So maybe just speed up for the last few seconds. So you can feel your calves, you can feel the balls of the feet. Oh, lovely. And then let's slowly, let's bring the feet back down onto the mat. We'll bring both hands onto your left thigh and we'll slide that right foot forward so you can still see my toes there. I'm going to lift the toes up towards you and then stretch the toes down towards the floor. Let me move my chair back a little bit. So I'm going to lift the toes up towards you and then press the toes down towards the floor. A couple more times so you feel a nice stretch out through the back and the front of the foot. Lovely. So we'll lift the toes, and the next time that you press the toes down towards the floor, take a nice breath in as you lift up through the chest. And as you exhale, just slide the hands down towards that left knee. Keep the crown of the head coming forwards so the neck stays in line with the spine. And just make sure that you're not rolling towards a little toe edge of your foot. So press into the base of the big toe. We've got the option to stay there, or can you slide that right heel away from you and begin to pull the toes up towards your face, pressing that heel down a little bit more firmly to open up some space in the back of the leg. See if we can hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. We'll bring that heel all the way back and then changing sides. So one hand resting on top of the other on the right thigh. We'll slide that left foot forwards. So you keep a little bend in that knee. You can have the legs straight as you peel the toes up towards you. And then press the toes down towards the floor. So you can feel a little bit of movement through the ankle, back of the knee, the calf muscle again, getting a nice stretch out, a little bit in the hamstring. Oh, that's good. So we'll keep the toes pressing down towards the floor this time. Take a nice breath in as you elongate through the front of the body. And as you exhale, again, we'll take that little lean forward, sliding the hands down towards that right knee. So a little firming up through the belly, so we're not collapsing there. Nice long back. Just gazing down just towards your toes. Option to stay there or begin to slide the heel away from you. Pull the toes up towards your face so you can pop a little bend in the knee if you can feel pulling on your hamstring there. Lovely. And then let's see if we can hold that for 5. You press down into the heel a little bit more if you want. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then slowly we'll bring the feet back underneath your knees there. So knees stacked on top of ankles. So again, we're going to pick up your right heel there. So you can have your hands resting on your thigh. You can hold the chair, whatever you want. And just start to allow the knee to rock in and out. So you're just getting a little bit of movement in the hip now. So other knee stays nice and still. So some of us with more open hips, that movement might be quite big. Others, it might be a much smaller movement. So it's like you're opening and closing a gate there. Obviously, if you've got a hip replacement or any hip issues, then this perhaps is one to skip. You can just hold those nice calf stretches a little bit longer. Lovely, let's do 1 or 2 more of those. Really nice to stretch out through the hip. And then we'll come back to center and change sides. So you peel up the left heel, and then we just allow the knee to swing with control. So we're in charge of how far that knee wants to open, keeping a nice upright posture. Just allowing, and we're not butterflies, we're not symmetrical beings, so you might notice that one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. Lovely. Let's do that once more. And then we'll come back to center. So the feet are hip width apart. So a little bit now just to work into our upper body as well and add a little bit of brain connection too, which is always challenging, isn't it? Because we're going to be moving opposite arm and leg. So remember that little heel lift we did at the beginning. So if what I'm suggesting next is a little bit too much, then you can just lift your heel rather than lifting your whole knee up and lifting the whole leg off the floor there. You can just lift the heel, so whatever works for you. So we'll start just by reaching both arms down towards the floor. So fingertips reaching down towards the floor, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to pick up your right heel and take the left arm forwards and up towards the ceiling. An option to lift that right knee. So without shifting the weight to the left side, sitting up nice and tall, and then we'll bring the foot down as you bring the arm down. Lovely. So let's lift the left heel and we'll take the right arm forwards and up. Option to stay there, reaching up nice and tall, or without dropping the body weight back or shifting from side to side, we'll lift the knee and then bring the foot down as you release the arm. So we're going to add the breath, lifting on an inhale, lowering on an exhale, opposite arm and leg. So we'll start with the right knee or right leg and the left arm. So as we inhale, let's lift, sitting up nice and tall. And as you exhale, let's lower down. Other side, inhale. So we're trying to keep a nice upright posture. So we're strengthening the front of the hips, having to lift that heavy lever of the leg. So if it does prove to be a little bit too much, you can always just keep the ball of the foot on the floor and lift the heel. So get a nice rhythm with the breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Let's do one more with your right leg and left arm lifting. Exhale to lower. Other side, whoop, reaching up tall. And exhale to lower. Give the hands a little bit of a shake, the feet a little bit of a wobble. So we're going to add on from there. So sitting up nice and tall. So opposite arm and leg. Have a little look. Don't worry about the breath to start with. So right knee and left arm lift. And this time we're going to straighten the arm and leg. So we're going to take the leg out and the arm out. Woo! Knee to chest, reach the arm up. And then we'll bring the foot down and lower the arm. Now the trick is, as we change sides, lifting, as you take the leg forwards, you can always take that leg a little bit lower. I've got my leg level with the hip, but try not to lean back. Reaching up, bring the knee up and then lower down. Let's try that with the breath. So right leg, left arm. Inhale as you take arm and leg up. Exhale as you reach forward, stretch out through the heel. Woo! Hello, hamstrings. Inhale, lift that knee up, working the core a little bit and lower. Other side, inhale. So remember, as you extend that leg, you can always keep it nice and low if that works for you. And if that means you've got a little bit of control over that heavy lever of the leg. If not, trying to bring your leg out from the hip. It's quite hard, isn't it? You suddenly realize how heavy your legs are. Woo! Stretch and reach. So we're reaching forward, straight level with the shoulder. Let's do one more on each side, but we're not leaning the body forwards. We're getting a nice stretch out through the arm and the leg. So you want to touch your toes. I'll be surprised if anyone can. You'd have super long arms. Lovely. Let's bring the feet down. Lovely. Let's take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, just slide your hands down towards your knees so you can rest your elbows on your thighs. Allow your spine to surround. Take a moment there. That's hard work. Those legs are heavy. So just take a couple of gathering breaths there. Lovely. And then when you've caught your breath, we'll just walk the hands back up the legs. And then we'll take the legs out into a nice V shape with your toes out and your heels in. So getting a little bit of openness from the hips. Again, any hip issues, maybe just keep your feet and your knees parallel and do the actions with the upper body, but keep the legs still. Lovely. So going to sit up nice and tall and bring the back of your right hand to the inside of your right knee or thigh and the left hand onto your right shoulder. So we're going to come into a nice stretch out for the inner thigh now. So reaching that left arm up on the diagonal. So reaching the arm up, take a nice breath in. As you breathe out, see if you can slide that right hand down a little further, gently pressing the knee out to the side and reaching up with that left arm. So we've got a nice stretch out through the chest, and we're using the back of the hand to encourage the knee out to the side. Don't let that other knee roll in. Lovely. Let's slowly, slowly come all the way back up. Back of the left hand to the inner knee or thigh. Right hand onto left shoulder. So you almost trail a path across your collarbones, reaching up, looking up on the diagonal, take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, see if you can again just reach down, maybe just an inch or so. Back of the hand, gently encouraging that knee out to the side, reaching up. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, let's come all the way back up through center. One more on each side. So back of the right hand, inner knee or thigh, left hand to shoulder. Let's take that arm across the collarbones, up in the diagonal. You can look up, take an inhale, exhale, see if you can come down maybe a little further, but we're not leaning the body forward. You can see my chest is still nice and open, easing into the hips. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, we'll ease our way back through center. Other side, so back of the left hand, in the knee or thigh, right hand onto the left shoulder, trailing that path across your collarbones, reaching up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to take that little kind of sliding down towards your inner knee, maybe down towards your shin a little way. And then slowly, slowly we'll come all the way back up through center. Lovely. Toe heel your feet until they're hip width apart. And then we'll find your band. So we're going to pick up the band. And the easiest way to do this is try not to wrap the band around your hands, because it just transfers lots of tension from your hands up into your shoulders and ultimately into your neck and your face. So holding the band in both hands, just bring it down onto the floor so you can step the ball of the right foot. It's a bit like a fairground game there. You know, the one where you hook the ducks. You've got to hook your foot with your band. So you've got to lean back, what piece of band in both hands, you've got to lean back a little way as you bring that right knee up. So we're supporting the weight of the leg now. Lovely. We're going to slowly extend that leg just as we did before, but this time we're stretching the heel away from us. Lovely. Bring the knee to the chest and then bring the foot to the floor. So we're just supporting the leg this time so we can deepen that stretch. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, try not to lean back too much as you take that leg out, stretching out through the heel. Lovely. Knee to chest, foot to floor. We're going to do that once more. Inhaling up. This time as you exhale, we're going to pause there. See if you can lift up through the belly. Remember, the leg might be lower if it's a little bit tricky. Otherwise, trying to lift out from hip height. See if we can hold that stretch for 5, 4, a little bit of strength, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Beautiful. So we're going to add on and get into our inner and outer thighs. So bringing the knee up, stretching the leg out, going to bring the band into your left hand. Right hand comes onto the chair, and we'll bring that right leg across the body. It might not move very far. Try and lift up through the breastbone. So we're going to stretch into the outer thigh. Oh, I can feel that. Bring the leg to center. Changing hands. So right hand on the band, left hand to the side of the chair. We take the leg out to the right. You can always pop a bend in the knee or drop that leg a little lower. Option to hold onto the chair or reach the opposite arm out and maybe take a little twist. So reach that left arm back. Keep lifting up through the breastbone. That's tough. So you can always keep the hand on the chair. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Now, option is either just to cross right ankle over left ankle, allowing that knee to drop open and take a little lean forwards, encouraging that right knee to open out to the side. Or using the band, see if you can bring your right ankle onto your left knee, or it's just above the knee on the thigh. Holding onto the chair, take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little lean forwards. So we're in a reclined pigeon pose, and we're gently encouraging that right knee to press away from us. Flexing that right foot So remember, the option is just to cross at the ankle. The hips are okay. Lovely. Beautiful. Let's sit ourselves up. And whatever we're doing with the legs, let's cross now, right leg over left leg, as though you're just sitting at a table. Left hand just comes to the outside of the knee or the thigh, sitting up nice and tall, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's twist the body round towards the right and gently bring that right leg in towards the midline of the body. So we're just stretching out through the outer hip again. Getting a nice twist out through the spine. Lovely. Slowly, let's bring ourselves back to center. We'll uncross the legs, pick up the band, and we'll see if we can do that on the other side. So sometimes the hardest bit is looping the foot. So I find the easiest way is just to bring the band down to the floor. Just step your foot onto your band. So ball of the foot on the band. You've got to lean back a little ways to lift that leg up initially, but then see if you can sit forwards on your sit bones or take an inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can straighten the leg. Remember, you can always keep it lower. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhaling will bring the foot down to the floor. So inhale to lift. Exhale to extend. So either level with the hip or a little bit lower. Try and keep the body nice and upright. So this time we'll bring the knee up. We'll extend and we'll see if we can hold. So you're pressing out through the heels, sitting up nice and tall. See if we can hold for 5, 4, 3, that's hard, 2, well done, 1. Slowly bend the knee, bring the foot down. Woo! Heavy legs. So now for those inner and outer thigh stretches. So again with the band, we'll bring the knee up, take the leg out. Remember, you can keep it lower. So this time band comes into your right hand, left hand to the chair. And we'll bring the leg across the body. So again, you can have a little bend in the knee. You can keep the leg a little bit lower if you can. We're feeling a stretch down the outer thigh. Lovely. We'll come to center. Left hand holds the band, right hand to the chair. Sitting up nice and tall, we take the leg out to the side. Remember, you can pop a bend in the knee. Option to keep the hand on the chair or reach that right arm back on the diagonal and look over the shoulder. So it's a little twist, that's hard. So always keep the hand on the chair if that's a little bit too much. Let's come all the way back through center. Ready for that little recline pigeon. So option 1, we just cross left ankle over right ankle and gently lean forwards, encouraging that left knee to open out to the side. Or we use the band to bring your left ankle just on top of your right knee, holding onto the side of the chair. We'll take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, gently lean forwards. So I'm just looking beyond the big toe of that right foot. So my neck is in line with my spine. I'm very gently encouraging my left knee to open, keeping that left foot flexed. Ooh. One side feels distinctly different. This side's much stiffer. Let's bring ourselves upright. And whatever we're doing with the legs, we'll cross left leg over right leg. So you might just want to keep the legs there, or you might be crossing above the knee. Right hand comes to the outer knee or thigh. We'll lift up nice and tall as you inhale. And as you exhale, let's start to twist to the left this time. So we're just getting a little stretch. So you're gently bringing that left knee in towards the midline. Lovely. Slowly, slowly come all the way back through center. We'll uncross the legs. You can pop the band, managed to tie myself up, band on the floor. And we'll take both legs forwards here. You're going to bring your ankles and your big toes together. So you can keep your heels on the floor and just circle the feet one way and then the other, like a little mermaid tail. If you want to work your core a little bit, we lean back, lift the legs up and take that little circle. So you're circling the feet a few times one way, really nice ankle mobility exercise, and then circle the feet the opposite way. Lovely. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor. So again, keeping the inside edges of the feet together, hands onto your knees. very gently allow your knees just to roll open. So you're coming onto the outside edge of your feet, taking a little gentle lean forwards. So you're just stretching into the inner thighs. So some of us do this when we're lying down or yoga practice, cobbler's pose or reclined butterfly pose. Lovely. Gently easing the knees out to the side. And then hands to your outer knees so you can bring the knees back together, holding onto the side of the chair, lift up onto the balls of the feet and take a little swish of the knees from side to side. So we're just bringing those hips back into alignment. Lovely. And then we'll bring the feet back down to the floor, hip width apart. Just making sure that you're comfortable on the chair there. Hands resting on your thighs or in your lap. Just closing the eyes gently. And again, just bring your awareness to your feet. You might want to add a little bit of movement there until you can feel that deep connection between all four corners of your feet. And just allow the weight to drop into your feet. So relaxing any tension from your toes. Not scrunching up through the arches of the feet. So the feet are broad and wide. And if you can bring that feeling of relaxation and heaviness up into your calves. And up into those big muscles of your thighs. Bringing your awareness into your buttocks. Make sure you're not clenching or holding. So the whole lower body feels nice and heavy and loose and relaxed. And then we'll just gently flicker the eyes open. Bringing one hand and then the other to the center of your chest in that little prayer position, thumbs to your breastbone. Let's lift up nice and tall through your breastbone. Lovely, taking the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Let's take a nice in-breath together, sweeping the arms all the way out and up. As you bring your hands to your heart, your chin down towards your chest. Just giving yourself a pat on the back for having worked and stretched out through your legs. So well done. Thank you very much for joining me. More next week. Take care.